Hey guys, welcome to SJU. It's Wednesday. Something is happening that we thought might never happen again. Some movies are coming out. But because it's 2020, they're coming out in weird, strange, and unfamiliar ways. So we're going to break down what's coming out, how you can see it, and why they're not just being seen in that you put a bag on your head that has a screen at the end of it thing.
Oh, yes. Oh, we got to bring that back.
That
was great, yeah.
Back.
Brian, will you find an image of that before the end of the show? You know what I'm talking about?
No, what?
That was before Ryan was on SJU. That was way
It was a
back in the
Kickstarter
day.
for a bag you'd put over your head and put your phone inside, and it would create a movie theater, but you just look like an ostrich. I'll find
Okay,
it.
I'll try to.
Oh wait, I got it. I'll send it to you right now.
Send it to
Wow, this
Moulton.
is such inside baseball stuff for our audience.
That's how we like to start the show. Turn off any new viewers. Hi, welcome to SJU.
All right, we're going to ramble for a minute. I'm your host, Joe Spencer J. Gilbert. Hello, sir.
Hey.
Billy Business.
Hi. Pop theater. Pop theater.
Oh, Pop
Thank you.
Theater. Thank you. That's what it was
Their
called.
time has come.
Which looks like a terrorist beheading video when you click on the image.
We're off to a good start, you guys. So we're going to talk about these movies, why you should be able to watch them in Pop Theater and why you can't. I want to get an update on their Kickstarter. We're also going to talk a little bit about Diablo Cody's Powerpuff Girls movie, which seems weird, and I don't know. And then we're going to take some questions from you guys out of the chat. So stick around, and we'll answer your questions. And hopefully they're all about Pop Theater.
There it is.
Yes. Oh, gosh. Now, how did that amazing idea not take off?
I mean, if that had come out now, if they had timed it, if they had just waited 4 years or however long ago we found this and put it out during quarantine, I think we'd all be popping right now.
Couldn't stop me from popping right now. I'd never popping.
Gotta have my pops.
Yeah.
Well, first movie that I want to be able to put a bag on my head and watch, can't because Pop Theater never happened, is New Mutants. You guys, it's...
Sorry, I'm just imagining watching Avatar 2 on that and then James Cameron waterboarding me during all the underwater scenes.
Look, guys, we have a very dry story today. Help me drive this car. And pretend to be interested that New Mutants is releasing. Look, I know the three of us aren't going to go see it. I'm never leaving this house.
I'd like to see it, but would I potentially die for New Mutants? I'm sorry.
Absolutely not. No.
They're doing
creations I love much more.
They're doing drive-in screening, or at least I got like an email that the Rose Bowl is doing like a week of New Mutant drive-ins. But I just feel like, at least from the trailers and the commercials and stuff, like it looks like a really like dark, as in like aesthetically dark movie, and I just don't know if a drive-in is the right place for that movie. You know?
Well, I do. I mean, seeing a horror movie at the drive-in, I mean, you take your best gal there and you start necking during the scary parts.
Right.
That's what drive-in theaters are all about.
That's right.
But yeah, projection quality probably be tough, especially since it's light outside until like 8:30 in Los Angeles.
Right.
Well, so it's releasing August 28th. Here's where it'll be showing, in addition to those drive-ins. In theaters where the state is allowing screenings, which remains a terrible health risk, there's not going to be a simultaneous digital release. I know people were kind of clamoring and expecting it, honestly, but they're not doing one. It was, like Billy just said, just announced yesterday for the Rose Bowl drive-in in Los Angeles. So it looks like it will be available at drive-ins in areas where indoor theaters are not currently open. It's weird that drive-in theaters are suddenly having a pandemic-forced moment. No one's able to review New Mutants. They've not made any kind of like screening links available or anything for press. So that's interesting in that, like, usually if a movie sucks, you get to see it or whatever and film your review, but you're not allowed to, release that review until the day the movie comes out or whatever. So I don't know if that's a mix of we don't want you to see it early and review it early tactics, or just we weren't sure how to handle this in a pandemic, or maybe a mix of both.
Well, really, sometimes they won't give it to you until the day of.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's day and date or the night before when they know they got a stinker on their hands, or they think they do. So curious what the rationale is there that they don't want critics to see it beforehand.
Yeah. Do you think
I've already
they do?
seen like a number of sites. I know AV Club was like the big article that went around yesterday that kind of, drew the line in the sand in terms of like, we are not going to review this if it's only going to be in theaters, even if an employee volunteers. But it also just brings up this weird question of like, if they did put out a review, or any of these sites put out a review, and they're like, this is amazing, you should see it, but don't go see it. Like, it's like that weird ethical thing about reviews right now where it's just like, can you really recommend someone go see it? Or is it like, hey, when this is available safely to watch, it's pretty good? I don't know.
Yeah. That's a lot of nuance for my using kitchen knives as Logan Claws review videos.
Tell me if it's the best movie ever or the worst movie ever.
You know, New Mutants! I got tested positive for COVID antibodies, but it was so sick! Like and subscribe! Sorry. So IndieWire is also declining to review the film, to your point, Billy. Right now the only option Disney's giving critics to review New Mutants is to attend a public screening with the masses. I think it's because they have a stinker on their hands. Like I think you make a really interesting point, Billy. But I also don't think corporations care about us enough to consider that.
Look, they sent out a screening link to Unhinged, which I just think is interesting because I'm sure they thought like this is exactly what it is. So to have one for that, but not New Mutants, it's either got to be really, really bad or I don't know. I'm tend to think like maybe no one quite knows what protocol is right now for reviewing these things or like, a lot of times they're just so, I don't want to speak like badly of their jobs because they do a really hard job, but it's like they're on autopilot with like, you send out the links to these critics and you set up this screening and that screening. And now it's just all kind of all over the place. Plus I think this thing like personally will drop on digital like 4 hours after it's released theatrically. There's probably some weird contract that's like, it's got to play for X amount of days. And then the day it's out, it'll be on digital.
Well, not to get too Disney conspiracy theorist with this, but it would make sense to me if they want this to be seen by as few people as possible. Like they inherited the project. They clearly have other plans for the X-Men. This is the last gasp of the non-MCU X-Men movies. And it would be bad if people liked it and it was a big hit because then there'd be an outcry like, why are you abandoning this? This was great. We want more. It's better for it to just kind of go out like a fart in a windstorm, and then they can
turd in the wind.
A turd in the wind, to quote Venom, and then they have the slate clean for whatever they want to do next.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree there. Gary in chat says, I'm in Thailand. I'm going to see Tenet and New Mutants tomorrow. So Gary, check in with us tomorrow, and we'll I don't know, we'll form some sort of review video around Gary.
Be safe.
Be safe
when you do it.
Yeah, please, absolutely. Please be safe. Speaking of Tenet, current release date out today in a lot of markets internationally, including Canada, which nearly always opens movies simultaneously with the U.S., but not this time. And then finally September 3rd in the U.S. Where will it be showing? So that's theatrical release only, where theaters are open. There's no simultaneous digital release. It will be running in about 44 states in the U.S. Recent reports will say that it will play in drive-ins, which is surprising with how like weird Nolan has been with the theatrical experience of it all. But only in areas where indoor theaters are also open, which is a bit confusing because at least like one drive-in in L.A. has said that they'll have it, but they haven't confirmed that yet, but they're advertising that probably. So that all seems very weird. Tenet maybe in drive-ins, or you've got to just hop our border to the north to find a better life and to watch Tenet.
Just watch Doctor Strange and then Inception, and then you've seen Tenet. It's just those two movies put together.
Do you have advanced knowledge of this?
Yeah, I read the Wikipedia entry. Look, I'm not seeing this movie out of spite. The blackout thing really pissed me off. a lot. Like, I think this Tenet thing, look, all you can ever go off of is like sources inside, but it just seems like, and maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like Christopher Nolan's like just really pushing this, and it's not like, it feels like just irresponsible in a way, and just really like petty, like, okay, well, if your theaters are closed, you can't see it this way or that way. It's like, I don't want to see it anymore. Like, you just turned me off from it so much that whatever, I'm done. Go for it.
He overplayed his hand with you a little bit?
Yeah, just like, I don't understand. I don't know. To me, it seems really like pompous and a little arrogant. But again, like, I don't know if that's him or if that's Warner Brothers. I would just think like, this is a really expensive movie. And if people are flocking to drive-thrus, shouldn't you just try to get as much of your money back as possible, no matter where it comes from? That seems dumb to me.
Yeah, I mean, I wish that they would just delay it for a worldwide simultaneous release sometime next year. But at the same time, it's getting to the point where the rest of the world shouldn't be punished for America's Americanness. In this particular instance, I know there's plenty of other times where that's still happening and has happened. But I was just looking up for our friend Gary. There's a New York Times headline, no one knows what Thailand's doing, right? But so far it's working. Like, other places have figured this out and are combating it to a point where it's safe. So why should everyone else around the world have to wait for the U.S. to get its shit together, which will be a while?
Gary, what we're saying is, let us know in the chat if you've got room to crash.
They don't want us, Joe.
And we're on our way. We're on our way in. As far as screeners, same with digital press screeners for reviewers on Tenet. We can confirm that Tom Cruise saw Tenet in a movie theater in his greatest stunt to date.
It's a very packed movie theater. It did not look social distanced at all.
I mean, that's part of what made the stunt dramatic.
Yeah, look good. Again, I'll put on the conspiracy theory hat. I think it makes perfect sense to have a big movie star go to the movies because big movie stars want their big movies to go back to theaters. It makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, and those are all hired Scientologists too in that theater. There was no way there's no way that Tom Cruise went into a theater with all the rubes.
I have no problem with Scientology. I have nothing to do with this conversation.
He's out.
I just have a red dot up here on my forehead. Come on, but yeah, he didn't go see a movie in the trenches.
I don't know. I feel like he can only feel alive if he's in some way having a brush with death, and doing that is as close as you can come without renting a spaceship.
Is it really happening, or are his handlers just making him think that these things are happening? Whoa. Like, yeah, Tom, you can get one of these strangers to sneeze in your mouth if you want. Like, go for it, bud. Speaking of buds and mouth sneezes, I don't know. Bill and Ted 3, release date August 28th. Bill and Ted 3 is simultaneously releasing VOD with limited theatrical and a drive-in theater release. Because it's VOD the same day, major chains like AMC won't be playing it. And then in this case, press was provided digital screeners for reviews, and we'll have a review up for it this Friday. So yeah, you guys at least get to see Bill and Ted Save the World, which I'm excited about. I feel like 2020 needs a little Bill and Ted in it, and I think it's very on brand for Bill and Ted to make this easily and readily available for people who just need to watch a movie.
Yeah, this is a day one purchase for me. I mean, I don't know the cost exactly, but if they're the usual, like $19, hell yeah. I want to see Bill and Ted right when it comes out. Whereas I don't think I would rush to the theater day one to see this movie. I'd probably see Tenet or Black Widow or whatever else was out that week. That's sadly the state of theatrical comedy these days. But right now, that hits the spot.
Yeah, no, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling really good about this one. Mulan, current release date September 4th. This is going to be released on Disney Plus where applicable. We've talked about this a little bit before. In the U.S., it's a $29.99 additional charge, and then you get to keep the movie for as long as you're a Disney Plus subscriber. It'll be released in theaters in countries that don't yet have Disney Plus, including China. Pricing for Disney Plus subscribers outside the U.S. varies, but it averages to about $26, although in France, it will be provided for free.
Whoa. Okay.
Let's all go to France.
Sacre bleu.
At a later date, to be specific. Yeah, so it'll be it's not getting at the same time.
Well, that's the thing with all these socialized services. You wait longer, the lines are bad.
And then you don't go into bankruptcy.
Yeah, like that.
All the trailers for this look awesome. The Mulan animated movie is my wife's favorite Disney movie, so this is definitely like one that we will. It's great too because I feel like, well, I guess it came out in March, but I was gonna say, like, you know, with the baby, we just can't go out to see a lot of things. And I know my wife was actually like super excited that this one's gonna be digital because it probably would be the only way we get to see it anyway.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it works perfect for you guys. Yeah, same with us. Tor and I just watched. I point this. This is generally where she is in the apartment that way. We just watched the animated one the other night, so we're super stoked about this. We're definitely going to be renting it. Very excited about it. Spencer, Mulan.
30's pretty steep. I don't think so. It's just. Maybe I'll wait for reviews. You know, if everyone's raving about it, I could be pressed. But it's just personal preference. But that's not a must see right away film for me unless people are going nuts over it.
What are some things in life right now you would pay $30 for?
Oh God, food. Mostly food. It's so boring. There's nothing. Like, what can we do except survive, Joe? Let me know. $30 on in the chat. Actually,
let us know what you'd spend $30 on right now in the chat, and we want to talk about them. So here's some stuff that's scheduled for the near future. Who knows if they last or stay or change or whatever, but supposedly here's what's coming up. The King's Man is coming September 18th. That's the prequel to the Kingsman series. They're releasing a new trailer in a few weeks, supposedly, and that's another 20th Century Studio movie from Disney. Of course, Wonder Woman 84 is still currently at the release date of October 2nd. We got no new release date updates from Fandom, but Patty Jenkins has said it will be in theaters for sure. We just don't know if it's going to stick around for October 2nd. There's a good chance they'll probably go off of how well Tenet does, since that's also a Warner Brothers release. And then Candyman, still scheduled for October 16th. Death on the Nile is still scheduled for October 23rd. So we've got like some business as usual coming up. I think people are really just kind of holding their breath to see how this first wave does.
Now, Spencer, are any of these movies, if they were $30, but it came with the Pop Theater, would you spring for the whole set?
The Pop Theater alone is worth $30. Where else could you get a bag to put over your head? Perhaps with a small Velcro insert for your cell phone. I mean, what is more true to the theater experience, or even better than the theatrical experience, than lying alone in your unfurnished capsule of a room with that over your head? This is the future, guys. We're going to have our universal basic income. We're going to get our Musk bucks, and we'll have our Pop Theater and our Soylent pellets delivered through a slot, and then we can all argue about it on Twitter.
That's right. We all deserve fun Pop Theater.
Oh man, yeah. Of the list that you rattled off, the only one that like I would actually, they won't. They made a big deal about that it won't. But I would love if like Wonder Woman just slipped on to digital, just because I really want to see it. Everything else is like stuff that I probably, even if none of this was happening, would probably just wait till the spring of 2021 when it came on digital anyway to watch.
Yeah. I would want to see Candyman live That would be such a good.
I want to see it.
Experience.
I need my scaredy blanket, so I have to be at home when I watch it. So
for the first thing that I processed that as when you said you wanted to see Candyman live was like an Ice-capades for Candyman, which I'd absolutely watch.
Candyland.
The Candyland. Make a Beer in chat says she would risk the $30 for Wonder Woman 84. She'd either risk it all or pay the $30. I'd pay the $30 for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I'd probably pay $30 for that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people. I'm saying the $30 is too high for me for Mulan. My child is not of Mulaning age, but I think that price. Granted, it's like a trial balloon. It's like, hey, let's see what happens. But that is for families. That's for if you have 2.5 kids, or whatever the national average is these days. It is a good deal rather than buying everybody a movie ticket to the latest Disney movie.
Right. And then Black Widow. We mentioned Black Widow a little bit ago. Still set for November 6th. And people are still speculating whether or not how Mulan does will determine what they end up doing with Black Widow. Like if they'll also do the $30 sort of release for Black Widow.
What's Death on the Nile? That's not Jungle Cruise with The Rock. What's Death on the Nile?
It's the sequel to the train movie that I'm blanking on the title right now.
Oh,
Murder on the Orient Express.
Yeah. There we go.
Okay,
yeah.
Another Poirot whodunit. All right.
Yes.
Which could be fun. Which could be totally fun. And chat, I'm less interested in what movies you would spend $30 on, and just anything that you would spend $30 on.
Just bring some joy into my life for $30.
Yeah, pancakes, a particular.
That'd be some pancake.
Yeah, like that'd be a heck of a pancake. Yeah, sorry, I'm literally just a usual suspecting it in my room right now. I was like, pancake, there's a toolbox over there. A
Kobayashi, picking coffee beans down in Guatemala.
Yeah. Let us know what you would spend $30 on now.
Chat's reminding us it's an Agatha Christie book, I believe, or an Agatha Christie story.
Yes.
It absolutely is. And one thing I will not pay $30 for is Agatha Christie. We had a drama teacher in high school who was obsessed with Agatha Christie plays, and that's all we did.
No, the movie was fun.
It was a fun movie.
I never saw the first one. It's one of those ones that it's like I should watch that. I'll get around to it, and then you end up watching like The Office for 2 hours.
Yeah, it has like John Carter syndrome, right? Where people are like, I've seen stuff like this before, and it's not fair to John Carter because it's like, yeah, because John Carter did it first. Same with like Agatha Christie stuff. People are going to be like, oh, I've seen better mysteries. And it's like, yeah, but I mean, she's like, it's not Agatha Christie's fault. You didn't discover her first.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like a lesser Ocean's movie or a lesser Knives Out, where like the film is what it is, but it's like, oh, look at all these famous people together. That's great. There's
exactly.
So many stars.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the chat, and someone said they would spend $30 on a Mads Mikkelsen OnlyFans account, which is
yeah, honestly, yeah. I'll do it.
Just out of sheer curiosity.
I'll bet it's really thin and scarred.
We've got definitely different polls because then on the other end of the Mads Mikkelsen OnlyFans account, Charles Clark says just some Auntie Anne's pretzels, and you know what? I could go out right now for $30.
Do they deliver?
Oh God, right?
Maybe get frozen ones and heat them up or something. A giant pretzel sounds good.
Yeah, just a big, really big pretzel.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Hey, Alex says I would spend $30 on a light up face mask. That could be fun and stylish.
Okay.
One quarter
change it up.
Says another cat.
That would make it one for me. Taking care of enough things.
I don't think you'd want to spend $30 on a cat. I would spend $30 to make mine not throw up at my feet when she's mad at me because I won't let her on the show. That'd be a blast. We did a pre-tape yesterday, Spencer. We're all in mid-conversation, then all of a sudden, right off the mic, you hear.
Stay tuned
for
for
that one to
Labor
come
Day,
out.
audience, if you want to see
Yeah,
that.
stay tuned for Labor Day, baby. Marcus Wise says $30 for a cameo of Joe Starr's Cobra Commander. I'm in the wrong business, man. I might need to get out of here and just start doing Cobra Commander cameos.
There you go.
If I can make that $30 bank. Oh yeah.
What cameo can we buy for $30 that would make us feel better?
Yeah. That's not a bad call.
Yeah,
My friend got me a cameo for $35 for my birthday this week, and he got me retired NBA role player Bruce Bowen, who used to play for the team that I root for.
Dirty player.
He got Bruce Bowen to read out one of my tweets, so that was for $35.
Nice.
He did the Hereditary. He got him to say Hereditary more like Hereditary, which was
And then he
fun.
blew out your Achilles.
and he shuffled under me as I was shooting. Yeah.
Well, happy birthday to you. Well, hey, another great birthday present for you, Ryan, is that this Friday, August 28th, we've got a Fandom 5 trivia show. We're hitting Dragon Ball Z, baby. So hit that link in the description to figure out how you can RSVP and come play. It's a fun game. Come hang out with me, answer 5 questions correctly, and you win money. It's good. Money's cool. You
can walk away with, if you won your round and you got chosen to come back for the bonus round, you can walk out with like $600+
Yeah. Divide that into just little intervals of 30, and you could buy all sorts of interesting stuff
So many cameos.
for $30. Yeah, that's like
Or one good one.
one really good one.
One Snooki or a bunch of retired NBA players.
Oh, yeah. Hey, speaking of retired NBA players, you guys, this is via Deadline. Sugar, Spice, and a live-action series order. The Powerpuff Girls, they're doing a live-action series based on the original Cartoon Network animated series. This project is going to feature the adult versions of these 3 kindergarten-age girls from the classic animated series. It's going to be written by Diablo Cody, who I really, really like. So this is Warner Brothers TV slash Berlanti's, Greg Berlanti situation. The first thing I thought of when I heard about this was that stage play that was really popular for a long time about the Peanuts characters after they get really old and burnt out, and mainly it's just like a lot of swears. And I think they're all hookers or something. I don't remember it, but it was like real edgy, right? So that's kind of what this reminded me of, but I think Diablo Cody could do something really interesting with it. I hope.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for me, but I don't think it's aimed at me. This is like they're giving it the Riverdale treatment, right? Where it's like, this was something cutesy and slightly retro, but we're making it young and modern and sexy.
Yeah. Which I think is a weird thing to do with 3 kindergarten-age children. Like, I think that's, if your need from Powerpuff Girls was, God, I wonder what these little girls are going to be like when they're 24 and chain smoking. Like, that's something you should work on.
But true. But I got to feel like this is in the same way that Riverdale is not for fans of the Archie and Jughead comics, right? Am I wrong on that? I don't know. I feel like those people are all dead. This is just a completely new group of people they're going for. They're just calling it the Powerpuff Girls because that's a thing they own, I guess. I'm kind of scratching my head on this one.
Yeah. Billy?
I have nothing to add to this that will satisfy fans or non-fans of this franchise. I am aware of Powder Puff, whatever it is. I'm aware of the imagery, and it ends there. I have, look around me. I have too many fandoms. I don't think I can add that one to the list. But I hope for fans of the thing that it's good. The Riverdale fans like their Riverdale, so hopefully the Powder Puffers like their Powder Puff.
I can confirm Chad is pretty negative on it, just overall. Actually, I was pretty surprised by how...
All right, then it sucks. This is a terrible idea. Guys, come on, Hollywood. Step it up. This is
it feels, again, like I really like Diablo Cody. I think she's an underrated talent. But this, I don't know, this feels weird. Again, like just the weird, like, oh man, can't wait for those kindergartners to turn into co-eds. Like, it feels like a weird, twisted approach.
They're going to be blasting cigs.
Oh, man, it's going to be so cool. That's...
But again, like, Riverdale's a big hit, and nobody... Well, again, it's different because
they're
Archie
in high
fans,
school already.
The Archie fans, it's like, Joe Biden is the only one upset about Riverdale. Oh, look what they've done to my Jughead. guess it is the wrong. It's a little closer generationally. They should have just gone with something older, you know. I won't say it. That's sacrilege too. Gem and the Holograms should remain untouched as well.
Yeah, but at least Gem and the Holograms were like, I don't know. It's weird. Like if something's already grown, like you can take the Muppets and make them Muppet babies, but the reverse is weird.
It's a real Benjamin Button theory of economics.
Anyway,
make them a baby, but can't go the other way.
I think that's just a rule. I think it's in Save the Cat. Hang on.
Oh, wow. Look at you, Joe. Page 25 must have this scene in it. What a great way to make art.
Yeah, 100%. Babies can't be adults, but you can go backwards. Hey, you guys want to answer some questions from the chat?
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully they're not all about babies. Benzatine says, the new Lucifer season has reaffirmed my hatred for the evil twin trope. It's right up there with the memory loss trope of eye-rolling and stupid tropes. Do you have tropes you also just sort of silently endure and wish would be over? So do you guys have like tropes in movies and TV that you are specifically like, nope, can't do it?
The one that I used to, of course I have to go all the way back to TGIF, but the one that I used to hate, and all the freaking sitcoms would do it, was either someone would get zapped or someone would be writing a story and the whole episode is set in like a noir, 30s, 40s thing. I'm just like, stop. I hate these episodes. All of Family Matters and Boy Meets World and Step by Step, they all did it, and I had no idea why. Like the noir episode, to the
same piece of backlot.
The noir episode was like you had to do it, and I just couldn't stand it.
Interesting.
That's weird. Look, Ben Zeiton, not to roast our own audience, but you're complaining about a show where the devil is real and he's become a cop. That's my understanding with the show is about Lucifer is like a police assistant or something like that, like solving murders, or is he playing both sides?
No, I think he's like a calendar model because every piece of key art I see is he's just shirtless and doing like fireman calendar poses. Where he's
a sexy cop so you really get what you're asking for with that show, which is probably going to be a little hacky, a little cheesy, have a few tropes because you're watching Lucifer. Come on.
Come on, Lucifer.
Chat is saying the trope that Billy was complaining about was also in Lucifer this season.
That's great.
All right, I'm done. No Lucifer for me. I'm
There's
out.
so much good TV out there, and you're watching Lucifer. Come on.
That's so good. Careful there, Spencer. Roxy Strider's going to throw a rock through your window.
She likes Friends.
I don't know if this is less of a trope and more of a you just didn't stick the landing properly, but I always hate when you see the point in a script, like especially in a romantic comedy or a romantic storyline where the other guy is suddenly just awful. And I think it's less of a trope and more of a you just didn't build it, that you just realized, oh no, he has to be bad and we have to root for the correct guy now. But I just hate it when a show, like, where you just see the strings and they didn't build it quite, and just suddenly they're bad. Suddenly they're the worst.
The movie did a lot of things wrong, but the one thing that it did do right in Superman Returns was they didn't make James Marsden an asshole. Like, he was like a good dude, and that's like one of the few times where I can think of that trope was not actually used.
Yeah, they didn't have a sudden, like, we're halfway through the movie and suddenly James Marsden puts his fist through a wall. And
he's, like, working.
Also, I am punchy. Like, yeah. I agree with you. They definitely pulled that off nicely. Charles Clark asks, I want to ask what movie quotes you guys use the most in your daily lives. I
think we've answered this one a lot, haven't we?
So we've been doing the 100 reasons to watch thing, and we have a runner in that's like, I say this every day now, and those are always things that I add to the script because I do say those things almost every day. So I guess in Mean Girls, it's I'll Keep You Here Till 4 from Tim Meadows. I think is hilarious. And then Torlin and I say it's not from the movie, but it's from the bloopers. There's a blooper in Hot Fuzz where Nick Frost and Simon Pegg just go, hoo ha, what a pair! And then they just grind on each other, and we walk around saying, what a pair, pretty much every day.
I guess mine are all from TV. I mean, there's probably one, just like there is a Jurassic Park 3 raptor hidden in every Honest trailer. There's probably multiple Simpsons references in every Honest trailer as well. Half of what I say is a quote from that show. And also from TV, you mentioned bloopers. It's like an Eastbound and Down blooper, although I think one take of it made it into the show, where Will Ferrell is talking about his plums.
Yes, the plums, yeah.
And I can't look at a plum without launching into it with my wife. And, you know, she gives me a sympathy laugh, but it's always, my plums. Oh, the light just dancing off them. A ripe bluish hue, et cetera, et cetera. So if you haven't seen those outtakes, just look for, it's just Will Ferrell Eastbound and Down plums. And it's ruined plums for me. I've never been able to walk by one or encounter one without going into it.
Billy?
I don't know. Is there something that you guys noticed that I quote a lot or say a lot?
It's also just like groans.
Yeah, groans, and then you mention heavyweights, but I don't know that if you quote heavyweights regularly.
Maybe Batman, just Batman movies or something like that. Yeah, like different lines from Batman movies.
I mean, there's just not a lot of context in my everyday life to be able to use heavyweights. Like, I would love to be like, come on, you devil log, anytime. Maybe if I'm like pooping or something. Or lunch has been canceled due to lack of hustle.
I think you should absolutely start doing that a little more.
You could say that to your kid when she's older.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, I definitely will be Daddy Perkus too. My kid's going to be Perkusizing.
John Bainbridge asks, if you could watch any movie safely at a drive-in, new or old, what would you watch? That's a fun one. I would watch Evil Dead 1 and 2. And Army of Darkness. I would go for a whole little Raimi trilogy. That stuff's built for the drive-in, man. And I've never been able to see him there, so that'd be my pick out the gate.
Yeah, I think you got to go, horror or like a kaiju movie. Like, I'd want to see Candyman just because I'm psyched for that. Even Godzilla King of the Monsters, which was not my favorite movie, but it's a great movie to sort of half pay attention to, which I think you usually do at the drive-in. You're chatting with whoever's in the car with you. You're eating a lot, like you're grabbing stuff out of the cooler and stuff like that. Maybe there's some other substances involved. Who knows? But it'd be cool to have a big monster movie up there.
I actually just got tickets for middle of September. They're doing a pop-up drive-in, like not too far from my house, and they're showing Tim Burton's Batman.
Oh, that'll be a good one.
Yeah. So anytime Batman is playing, like in any sort of theater, I must be there.
The challenge has been here because like the drive-in programs have gotten pretty up and running, but they just sell out like that.
I lucked out on this one. We wanted to do Jurassic Park like a month ago, and we just were too late to get tickets.
Yeah, we bless her for thinking of me, and I love her and miss her, and hopefully we can all stand in the same room together again. Vanessa Gritton texted me a few days ago and was like, "Do you want 2 tickets to see Point Break? You have to leave now." I was like, "Oh, I totally would have done that."
It's my first drive-in movie since The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Whew.
Wow.
Which I left mid-movie and walked over to the cable guy. So.
Good call.
Yeah, I think you made a good call. Hunchback's great, but
both are great. I actually watched Hunchback like a month ago, and I was like, "This is fucking great."
Nice. Oh, if we were all still in a room working together, a movie quote that gets said a lot is "To Utah Too."
Yep. All the
time. Actually, when we were watching the movie the other night, I was like, "Oh, no one says that anymore because we're not in the same room." Let's close out on this one. Dawn Storm asks, "What's your favorite bad movie?" Hers is probably The Velocipaster.
Wow, never heard of that one.
Oh, it's a treat.
Wait, what was it? Say it one more time.
What's your favorite bad movie? Hers is probably The Velocipaster.
I mean, we're talking really bad movies. Like there are movies that are corny that I like. I mean, I know we were talking about Tango and Cash yesterday, which is very fun. I think truly bad movie that's also a lot of fun is Miami Connection. If you guys haven't seen Miami Connection, it's a group of Taekwondo experts who are in a band called, I believe, Fighting the Dragon, or is that just one of their hit songs? I don't recall.
That's one of the songs.
Against the Ninja is another one of their songs, and they basically fight ninjas, and it's just so low budget and so good. And if you can find a copy of Miami Connection, it's probably online somewhere. Give that a shot.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely worth it. This one's tough because I feel like there's a lot of stuff where people are like, oh, I can't wait till people see how bad this is. Like, that's almost become a niche in itself. And occasionally it's fun. But I got to go back to just solid B stuff where people were really trying to hit a home run, like Tremors. I think actually a sequel to Tremors, a trailer just dropped, where they're on a private island or something, and that looks bonkers. And that looks a little more Sharknado-y. But like the original Tremors is such a great, we were genuinely attempting to make a great monster movie, and we made a great B movie instead. So I'd say maybe like Tremors or something like that.
There's a 1990 movie called Side Out about the fast-paced world
volleyball, right?
Beach volleyball.
Yeah, I've seen that one. That's great.
Wait, what is it called?
That's great.
Side Out.
Really
I've
fun.
never heard of Side Out.
Where a law student comes to California for the summer and ends up playing professional volleyball, and it is, I love it.
So
Every
good.
great like sports trope, like if you had showed this to me like now, I would think this was like a parody movie of 90s sports movies because they pack in every trope in this one movie, and it's great.
Nice. If I could recommend anything else, because it's on Prime, so it's free to watch, there's a movie called The Warrior and the Sorceress. It's from '84, and it's David Carradine. And it's literally like, I don't know, some guy was like owned a patch of desert or something and was like, I want to build a castle and film my own Lord of the Rings or something. And so it's just this low budget fantasy thing, but you can tell they're just trying to trick you into watching the movie. Like they name Carradine Kane. Like his kung fu character, and the story by is credited to Akira Kurosawa, which I just absolutely adore, because it feels less of a tip of the cap to we ripped you off, and more like they're just trying to give themselves some prestige. But it's totally worth it. It's David Carradine just like walking around in like a tunic and a loincloth with like a broadsword. And I think there's a lady with, they one up Total Recall. I think there's a lady with like 4 boobs at one point. Or maybe just 1 boob. I can't remember. But
It's a pretty big distinction there, Joe.
I mean, yeah, no, you're
like you'd remember an extra set.
Not enough or too many.
Yeah, it was not enough too many. It was one, I can't remember which exactly. But yeah, so that one's completely worth your time. And by completely worth your time, I mean not at all. But all we have is time now. Gentlemen, closing thoughts?
Let's watch Side Out as a group. I think that one needs to be revisited. You brought back a flood of memories, Billy. It's sort of like a White Man Can't Jump. Like there's like the aging guy who's like brought back in for one more volleyball tournament, and the young hotshot who's inspiring him to spike better. I don't know. We should watch that for sure.
They put in a little legal drama for about 10 minutes in the middle too, just in case.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm in. That sounds fun. We will definitely do that as a group and promise to make a video about it that we'll never actually make. And we'll see all of you right here tomorrow on SJU. Enjoy your night. Be safe. Wear a mask.